Hi, my name is Alicia Brown, like, well, the color. And I watched a video um, yesterday by Gina Hanrahan on YouTube. It was a prophetic word, and in the video, she encouraged people to, I guess, share their visions or dreams or stuff that they've had that they feel like is coming from God. And so I had a dream, and then I had scripture that um, came shortly after the dream that I had. And I've had a lot of confirmation, I guess, since then. I guess kind of telling me that it's something that I need to say and do. So I'm going to start by reading. I think I'm going to read the daily devotional that I got. I had this dream probably a month ago, and then all of the stuff, the scriptures and everything came after. So maybe it makes sense. I don't know. But actually, I think I'm going to read the word that I got first. So the first thing that I got was Jeremiah 9, chapter 9, verse, I think 18. But yeah. It says, "Let them come quickly and wail over us, till our eyes overflow with tears and water streams from our eyelids. The sound of wailing is heard from Zion. How ruined we are! How great is our shame! We must leave our land because our houses are in ruins. Now you, women, hear the word of the Lord. Open your ears to the words of his mouth. Teach your daughters how to wail. Teach one another a lament. Death has climbed in through our windows and has entered our fortresses. It has removed the children from the streets and the young men from the public squares. Say, this is what the Lord declares. Dead bodies will lie like dung on the open field, like cut grain behind the reaper, with no one to gather them. This is what the Lord says. Let not the wise boast of their wisdom, or the strong boast of their strength, or the rich boast of their riches, but let the one who boasts boast about this, that they have the understanding to know me, that I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth, for in these I delight, declares the Lord. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will punish all who are circumcised only in the flesh, Egypt, Judah, Edom, Ammon, Moab, and all who live in the wilderness in distant places. For all these nations are really uncircumcised, and even the whole house of Israel is uncircumcised in heart. And then underneath it says God and idols, which I always feel the need to point out because two things that I feel like God talks to me about a lot is idolatry and false prophecy. So for some reason, I also get this other, I saw it, it stuck out to me, and I highlighted it in yellow. When I highlight in yellow, usually that's like a warning. For some reason, I see it as a warning. Maybe it pertains. So chapter 10, verse 11, in Jeremiah, still, it says, "Tell them this, these gods who did not make the heavens and the earth will perish from the earth and from under the heavens." And then the second thing that I got that goes along with this, sorry, I put my mail in here to like separate the pages. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 20, I think. Yeah, 20. It says, the anger of the Lord will not turn back until he fully accomplishes the purposes of his heart. In days to come, you will understand it clearly. I did not send these prophets, yet they have run with their message. I did not speak to them, yet they have prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, they would have proclaimed my words to my people and would have turned them from their evil ways and from their evil deeds. Am I only a God nearby, declares the Lord, and not a God far away, who can hide in secret places so that I cannot see them? Who can hide in secret places so that I cannot see them, declares the Lord. Do I not fill heaven and earth, declares the Lord. I have heard what the prophets say who prophesy lies in my name. They say, I had a dream, I had a dream. How long will this continue in the hearts of these lying prophets who prophesy the delusions of their own minds? They think the dreams they tell one another will make my people forget my name, just as their ancestors forgot my name through Baal worship. Let the prophet who has a dream recount the dream, but let the one who has my word speak it faithfully. For what has straw to do with grain, declares the Lord? Is not my word like fire, declares the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks a rock in pieces? Therefore, declares the Lord, I am against the prophets who steal from one another words supposedly from me. Yes, declares the Lord, I am against the prophets who wag their own tongues and yet declare, the Lord declares. Indeed, I am against those who prophesy false dreams, declares the Lord. They tell them and lead my people astray with their reckless lies, yet I did not send or appoint them. They do not benefit these people in the least, declares the Lord. And then underneath the passage is false prophecy. So yeah, that is the scripture, and then I will also read the daily devotional. Like I said, I don't know if I said that. I've recorded this like twice, so but I got this on March 7th, like the scriptures and stuff, but I had read March 8th on the 7th, and it was almost like a confirmation to me that because the 8th passage goes with my dream, so I was like, okay. And it's just weird to me. It was weird. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird how it went together so like perfectly to me. Well, you know, God doesn't make mistakes, so. But it says, I enable you to stand on the heights. This term, the heights, can refer to a number of things. Taken literally, it means that something is physically very high up. This is appropriate language for describing mountaintops or the uppermost floors of skyscrapers. Taken figuratively, the term can refer to euphoric pleasure or to something quite different, weighty experiences of responsibility. If you aspire to reach the heights, especially the high places of achievement and recognition, be prepared to shoulder the responsibilities that accompany success. But don't forget to enjoy the satisfaction of accomplishing good things with me, through me, and for me. Because you are mine, you can stand firm with the belt of truth buckled around your waist and the breastplate of righteousness in place. All of my teaching is absolutely true, for I am the truth. This provides a firm foundation for you, solid rock on which to stand. My perfect righteousness has been credited to your account forever. No matter how much trouble you encounter, this righteousness can keep you standing. And then these are the passages that coincide with the daily devotional. So 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 34. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to stand on the heights. And then Ephesians chapter 6, verse 14. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, and with the breastplate of righteousness in place. And then John chapter 14, verse 6, New King James Version. Jesus said to him, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And then Romans chapter 3, verse 22. This righteousness from God comes through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. And yeah. So now to my dream. So get comfy, I guess. So I had a dream, and it starts out with me getting on an elevator. It's a glass elevator. And I guess most of the stuff in this dream is glass. So maybe glass is like a big deal. I don't know. I'm speculating. I'll just tell the dream, like, you can determine what it means for you, or maybe you can interpret what it means. But when I told someone personal to me, she said it seemed prophetic. So I don't know. I'm new to this. He's called me, but I'm new. So, like, I don't know. Let me start over. In this dream, I start out and I'm getting on an elevator. It is a glass elevator. And I know because it's see-through, so I can see straight through everything. I can even see out the building, and it's kind of scary because I'm afraid of, like, heights. But when I get on the elevator, I go up to the 3rd floor. When I get to the 3rd floor, I try to get off the elevator, but there's a janitor standing there, and he's sweeping up glass, and he tells me, oh, you can't get off on this floor. There's broken glass everywhere. You can't get off here. So I was still on the elevator, so I stayed on the elevator, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the 6th floor. So I go up to the 6th floor, and I try to get off on the 6th floor. Now, mind you, when I went to the 6th floor, it was like I had went super high, like a skyscraper. And I was so high, like I could see the clouds, and it was like, I'm a visual person, so I don't know how to really describe it, but it was like outside the building, it was like, which is something that I never really describe when I tell this dream, or when I've told this dream before. But when I looked outside the elevator, like, you could see the city. Well, you could see the city, but it was like really far down, and it was like the sky was just bright light everywhere. It was like one of those pretty sunsets where the clouds are just like illuminated by the light. And but I was scared when I looked down because it was like so far from the ground. It was like I was in the tallest building in the world, a skyscraper. And I tried to get off on the 6th floor again, like I did on the 3rd floor, and the same thing happened. It was the same janitor on the 6th floor, and he was telling me the same thing that he told me on the 3rd floor, that I couldn't get off, that there was broken glass, and that, you know, I had to get off on another floor. So I was like, okay. So in the dream, I go back down to the 1st floor. I don't know why I went to the 1st floor. I don't even know why I went to the 3rd or the 6th floor. I just know, like, I went to these different floors. And when I got back to the 1st floor, I looked around, and it was just a weird thing. Like, I looked outside, because, you know, and this whole building is like glass. It's like, I don't know how to describe that. It's like, you know, when the windows are like, the windows are glass. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the building was glass. And if you know anything about downtown Denver, it kind of looked like that. I'm from Colorado. I've always lived in Colorado. So 16th Street Mall, that's kind of what it looked like. And so, but I looked outside and I saw a bunch of people like walking by. So there was a bunch of people walking by outside of the building, but there was nobody inside of the building, which I remember in the dream thinking that it was strange, because I'm like, why is the building empty? But at the same time, I was like, paid it no mind. I walk off the elevator and I start walking around this corner. And when I turn the corner, I see probably like 7 or 8 guys, and they're wearing all black, and their faces are covered. You know, they look like SWAT, like a SWAT team. And I guess like when I looked, I saw like the main guy, and we like locked eyes. And as soon as we locked eyes, he starts shooting. They're holding machine guns. I don't know if I said that, but they're holding, all of them are holding machine guns. Maybe this is like spiritual warfare, but yeah. And I also have to mention there's this like art display. It looks like an art display in the middle of the room. It's made of glass. The glass looks like this kind of glass. And so when I kind of noticed there were people hiding in the glass, like in the display. I don't know how to describe this like in the way that I see it, because you know, I'm an artist. I visualize. Anyway, the first and the second floor are like connected to each other. So yeah, when the guy starts shooting at me, I like run onto the elevator and I go up to the second floor, because for some reason I could get out of the building on the second floor. So I go up to the second floor, and the art display from the first floor is connected to the second floor. So, and it's made of stairs and slides, kind of like chutes and ladders. And I just remember like I'm thinking like, okay, I gotta get out of here. And so I start climbing the stairs, and then I come across the slide. As I'm about to get on the slide, I look over and I see another lady, and she's like on her own slide, and like she's like holding on to the rail for like dear life, and she's like towards the bottom of the slide. And she tells me that not to get on the slide if I don't feel like if I don't have the arm strength to like pull myself up, or like, you know, if I'm unsure, not to get on the slide. And I was kind of like, you know, in my mind, I'm like thinking, oh, well, at the time I worked at UPS. So I'm like, oh, I work at UPS. So like, I have the arm strength, like I can do it. And, but she told me like, don't get on if you're unsure, if you don't feel like you have the arm strength to pull yourself up, don't get on, because you will slide to the bottom and they will kill you. And so I was like I heard her, you know. I was confident though, because I worked at UPS, so I was like, I can get on. So I went to get on the slide anyway, and I like pulled myself up, and sure enough, like I got, you know, where I was trying to get. But and I wanted to go help her, but I couldn't. And the reason I couldn't help her is because she was so low that if I would have went down to try to pull her up, we both would have slid down. And I wanted to get out so that I could, I guess, warn people and let them know, like, so I could get help, you know. So I climbed the stairs and all the slides, and I get outside. When I get outside, there were 2 events going on that day. I don't know how I knew there were 2 events going on that day, but I just knew there were 2 events going on that day. And one of them was like a tennis thing. And it was like a tennis tournament with like famous tennis people. And then the other thing, it was like, well, okay. When I walked outside, I see a group of about 40 people. And they're all African American. They're all black. Yeah, black African American. I'm a rambler, sorry. And when I see them, they're all dressed like lions, like a live action Broadway performance of The Lion King, which I do think that I actually remember something like that from when I was a kid, but that's what they were in my dream. They were dressed up like lions. And I talked, when I came out, I was telling them, like, hey, don't go in the building. They're shooting in the building. They're killing people. Like, don't go in the building. And I was saying that, and they looked like they were concerned, but they didn't look like they were concerned enough to stop going in that direction. And so I felt kind of helpless, like, okay, I can't help them, like they're not listening. And so I turned, because they walked off. They walked towards the building, all of them in that direction. And I watched them, and then I turned and I see like a TV. And it's like mounted on this wall outside, right next to where we were standing. And on the TV, it starts talking about the death toll. And it starts talking about how the tennis players, it was talking about at the event. I don't know what happened. I don't know if like if they were shot, but I just remembered like they were talking about death toll. And I remember hearing like Serena Williams in particular, and like some other famous tennis players, but the names were just like random names to me. So I don't know the names. I don't know if they're real people. And I don't remember the names. The only name that I remember was Serena Williams. And I was feeling like grieved. And it was almost like the nation was grieving. I don't know. But yeah. Death toll. And then I woke up. So that's my dream. That this is the scriptures that went with it, and the devotional I read. So maybe it's a prophetic thing that somebody with eyes to see, with eyes to see or ears to hear, understands better than I do. I've only been Christian for a year, like in the belief for a year. So I'm not really sure of everything, but I'm sure of like what I do know, or what I've heard, or what I've seen. And also, yeah, that's all.